Hit it.
Hey going, welcome back to another episode of Chalk and Cheese. I'm Dan, this is Chase. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how early is too early to be signing contracts for a professional career.
Oh, right. Now, I sort of looked at it, Gilmore, and I tried to compare some of our sports, NBA, NFL, and I looked at America and Australia, and I think a lot of the sports that have drafts don't have an issue with this.
Yeah.
Because they can't take the player until he's signed or when they know where he's going.
Yeah.
But what I think America's issue was, because America doesn't really run its sport like our NRL. Pretty much NRL is the one we're sort of going to be diving into.
Yeah.
NBA, NFL, all their big sports have drafts. But I found another issue while I was sort of researching and looking. Their issue is player agents just signing a player.
Yeah.
So what they were doing is player agents were just signing 14-year-olds to be their manager.
Yeah.
So when they eventually made it
Yeah,
and got
yeah,
their contract.
yeah.
So that's another one we can look into. Should player agents be able to sign young kids? And that ties in with should the clubs be able to sign young kids? Because if I think about it, if you're signing him, and I don't know if you're paying him, what you're giving him. Maybe you get a bag, you get a shirt from the club, whatever they give you.
Yeah.
If the manager, he might be holding off till his 10% comes later.
Yeah.
But if they're signing you at such a young age, if you can't be working or you're 12 years old and you don't have a job yet, but they can sign you to a player manager contract, I wonder, is that a bit of an issue?
Well, I think from a development, like student athlete point of view, I think it puts a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So there's NRL's the biggest one at the moment because they don't have a draft. So AFL and the NFL, NBA, whatever, they also America also has a college system.
Yeah.
So there's not many kids getting signed out of high school that are going on to play or that are signed with a
club,
a first club. So they've got another step there where in Australia, university doesn't really hold anything.
It's really your
It's
sport.
straight out
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know. I'm just thinking if I was in grade 10, you like playing footy and you're excited you're getting signed. But then I think the reason a lot of clubs do it is to try and not let anyone else go for that. And so you're not even signing him to put him in your team. I'm just signing you so you can't be taken by someone else in case we want you.
Yeah, and that was one of the articles I actually read in Australia for the NRL.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, well, I think they have changed it now, but they changed the signing of players to, I thought it was 17.
Yeah.
Because what was happening is clubs and the managers were just hedging their bets and just signing everyone. And then, I don't know, I think parents start to live vicariously through their kids, and as soon as that contract, or not that contract, but that 15-year-old gets a West Tigers shirt to say he's signed by the West Tigers, it's like they think he's made it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if you just look at it from a numbers point of view and you go, all right, we've got, was it 18 professional NRL teams now, or 17 NRL teams?
Yeah.
Even if you have a squad, they have a squad of 30, that gives you what's 300, 700 professional players.
Yeah.
Right, 700 professional players. When you're 15 and you're even just looking at your region, because a lot of them are getting picked like if they're in the Midwest or maybe whatever region and they're getting signed, and you're like, just for your region is probably 150, 200 of you before you go to States.
That's what I was thinking.
And then you get into the state team and there's different states around. So your chance of then making it is
still very slim.
It's still very slim, but that club is just going, you know what? If we can get 100 15-year-olds signed up and one becomes a player, if it costs us a shirt, a bag, and maybe come to the club every now and then to have a visit, what do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not really a loss on them.
Yeah, it's not.
But then again, it's like it's the pressure on the kids, I think.
And that's what the issue then comes, where these kids from 14, 15 think they're going to be professional players.
Yeah.
They get to 18 and they go, hang on.
Yeah.
It's not going the way I haven't played NRL yet. I've probably done nothing at school because I was the cool kid playing my sport.
And the other thing is, when you're in those clubs at a young age, there are other expectations where you've got to be training a bit more or training with certain teams. So then that's potentially could be taken away from your academics or your work life.
Yeah.
So you're putting all this stuff on hold from when you're 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And then it turns into nothing. And then
Yeah.
you almost got to start again or like start 2 years behind everyone else.
And I think that's when it hits the kids or the that hang on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it. Haven't done well at school. I don't have a backup plan because I was signed to an NRL club and that's my dream. And that's
Yeah.
what mum and dad have been driving me around for probably 3 times a week, 4
Yeah.
times a week for the last
Yeah.
10 years. Like,
Yeah.
and that's my issue with letting the kids sign. Like, once they, like, I think 17's age, I have changed it too. Once they get to 17 and 18, I'm a little bit more okay with it.
Yeah.
You've finishing high school.
Yeah.
You should have hopefully developed your career path. Maybe you don't know exactly what you want
Yeah,
to do,
yeah,
but you've thought
yeah.
about your uni. You've thought about maybe getting a job or trade, whatever you
Yeah.
want to do. And then rugby's like, oh, now we think we want you to come train with us. And you can go, oh, weigh it up and make a
Yeah.
decision. But
the other thing is they get around that by not really signing you to the team, but to like a development academy.
yes.
So it's
every
like a-
time I hear Develop Academy, I'm like,
Yeah. So that's how they can try and get them in without actually putting a big, well, not a big contract, but like locking him into the club.
yeah.
And they put him in. So they're still, the association's still there.
Yeah.
And then from a kid who sees the Titans logo or
Yeah.
whatever logo next to something, they're going to think, here we go.
I'm on. And I don't know, I was thinking about it last night and I sort of, not exactly, but I linked it to a little bit like child actors where they get famous at a young age.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the sports stars will be as famous as
Yeah,
the child
yeah, yeah.
actors, but they get famous at a young age. They start getting everything they want, money-wise, parents probably. And I think the parents sort of fall into, my kids are earning this much money. They're good at what they do, so we'll keep them in it. But that, I don't know, that amount of fame or that idea that I'm going to be a sports star or I'm going to be an actor, I think a lot of people who do that struggle with backup plans.
Yeah.
Because it's life altering. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like if you, and I don't think, I haven't checked America as much as Australia. I don't think there's stats. I haven't seen the stats in America, but with the suicide rate with the young footballers that
Yeah.
were sort of taking their lives, you sort of go, that was their out for their family. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them NRL players, they end up getting a contract. I think Payne Haas managed to buy his family a house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then
Like,
that's extra pressure
Yes.
the individual child will take on. It's like, if I can do this and work hard, I can get my family out of a hole.
Yeah.
Which, again, shouldn't be the pressure on a child.
And that's why if you think if they don't do it when they 14 or 15,
Yeah.
you don't have that for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the pressure's not going to be on them when they turn 18. I just think hopefully they can handle it
Yeah.
a little bit better. And that's why, I don't know, maybe the NRL needs to look into bringing in a draft. Because out of all the sports, besides the player manager signing the kids, a draft sort of, you don't have any, well, you don't really have any say where you want to go anyway. But when you perform and you get to the age that they're going to pick you,
Yeah.
you sort of have an idea where you're
Yeah.
going to go. A lot of, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them know that player's going to get drawn first, or will be a first round pick.
Yeah.
He might drop a little bit.
Well, 'cause the other thing is, with the drafts, we talk about the AFL, they're pulling them from, either they've graduated from
Yeah.
high school or they're pulling them from the seconds team. So they're already playing senior men's or women's football, and then they're getting drafted from there. It's not like they're playing their local club at under 15, 16s, and then you just got to do that big jump into first grade once you graduate.
I haven't seen the AFL and I don't know, I mean, how they do it. But with the AFL, right, each club has their feeder club, right? So you can be playing for their feeder club probably 18, 19, and probably be the same age as to be a professional player. And then if the club sort of thinks you're doing well, they can draft you.
Yes.
Or can someone else come take you.
No, someone else can come take you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know I like the idea of the feeder clubs, because when you develop players from such a young age and they've been at your club for a long period of time, you should hopefully get, sort of like the father-son rule in AFL. I like that. If your father played for Brisbane Lions and you're 18 now, looking good, and you want to play for Brisbane Lions,
Yeah.
that'll be your first choice. And
Yeah.
they've got to fix. I don't know how they fix it up, and that'll be the same thing with NRL. If the players been at a club, Panthers, we've got the young, like they're young, even their New South Wales team wins
yeah.
it. Their under 18s apparently real good, so
Yeah.
they've managed to develop their kids. But I wonder if, now I'm sort of contradicting myself. I wonder if that's an issue where they've got this feeding of young players
Yeah.
coming through, like a sort of what they call when a team's really good and they feed it. Like everyone wants them.
Yeah.
So is that going to be an issue? Oh gosh.
No, I
There's
don't.
just lots of things when you think about it, you're like,
But I think the conversation is how early do we get kids into that system?
yes.
Because if you have a good development program set up, like the Panthers would, you don't see Nathan Cleary moving on anytime soon. But they're halves in the seconds team, New South Wales Cup team. Yeah, they're going to go look elsewhere. And then it comes down to money.
Yeah.
So again, it's still like an avenue for the Panthers because kids will want to come to their club.
Yeah.
Because they're like, all right, they have a good system. We'll get poached by another club just by being there. So it's like a rep team.
Yeah, and that's why. So we sort of looked at the pressure that it puts on the young kids. I don't know. I think the draft might work a little bit better to help out with the NRL issue. I think parents sometimes get the wrong idea from the contract signing.
Yeah.
And that's where, like we were saying, the pressure's already on the kid because he wants to play a sport for a living. Who doesn't want to?
Yeah.
And then mum and dad are probably going, we're putting all this into the kid to make it happen. Like my sister has my nephew who's into his league. The amount of money she's got to pay for him for league.
Yeah.
To like go to this and go to this and be a part of this team, or like it's crazy. And I don't think he feels pressure that he has to make it, but he wants to be an NRL player.
Yeah.
And you're like, what if you want to go to uni? And he's still undecided if he wants to go to uni. He hasn't thought. And you're like, I hope the parents all have sat down with their kids and gone, this is still just a sport you're playing.
Yeah.
This is what we do for fitness. We know you like it.
Yeah.
You build friendships. That's fine. If it leads to the NRL, that's perfect. But we've got to have, and that's what.
But the other side of that is you don't give yourself a chance to try and make it into the first grade unless you're given everything.
Everything, yes.
So it's like risk versus reward. Yeah. Anyway, so let us know what you think because there's points on both sides. If you want to be a professional athlete, you kind of do want to get in as young as you can because the way players are developing, like the average age of professional sports, the low 20s now. It used to be 25, 26. Like that's when you're at your prime. But kids seem to be ready a lot earlier now, so you need to lock them down. I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's also how early is too early. I think if they're in school, they're not even fully developed mentally, physically.
So our main one is at school, no way.
Yeah.
University, make it happen.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Thank you.
Yeah.